Pathmark is the intelligent tool for website lead generation. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. Pathmark qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50%. Add Pathmark to your website in seconds. Let the AI do all the work and get access to 50% more qualified leads while you keep doing marketing and sales as usual. Check us on pathmark.com. Welcome to today's episode. Let's talk about today's guest. We have Jessica Nelson, Vice President of Growth at Stream. How are you doing today, Jessica?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you on and to learn a little bit more about Stream. We know it's you build an app, chat, video, and audio, and feeds faster. So tell us a little bit more in your own words so that way our listeners could get a good understanding.
Sure. So we are a platform that's helping probably some of the apps that you are using every day, apps like Patreon, Strava, helping them get real-time communication into their apps. And that includes video, Instagram-like feeds, WhatsApp-like chat communication. So really taking all the heavy lift on our side and giving apps exactly what people are looking for quickly.
All right, that's awesome to hear. And so that way our listeners could get a good understanding of Stream. What would you say is the key problem that you guys like to solve for clients?
I think it's two parts. The first part is having the actual infrastructure. It takes quite a bit of back-end coding to be able to put chat, video, or live feeds into an app. So we take that and turn it into something you can do in days, hours, weeks. And we also take all the heavy lifting off for engineers so that way their team can focus on what the apps actually do and help drive that user engagement and retention.
Definitely. Okay. All right. And so as far as some clients, I mean, I see here, like you mentioned, Strava, SoundCloud, eToro, Crunchbase, Adobe. Well, is there a certain type of vertical? Is there an ideal ICP for Stream?
So we have a few verticals that we are pretty focused on. So dating apps, obviously there's a lot of communication back and forth in dating apps. Telehealth, right, where you're videoing with your provider. Marketplaces where you want to chat with the person that you're buying and selling with. So those, I'd say, are three of our primary. Social, anything social. So thinking like a Patreon, right? Strava is like a social community. I'd say those are our primary verticals.
Okay, perfect. And so these social communities or ideal ICPs, how do they usually find out about Stream? Is there a top client acquisition channel for you guys?
Yeah, so we do a lot of developer advocacy. We have an amazing DevRel team that's out there working with the developers of the world, making sure that they understand what we do and helping them see how Stream is helping companies just like them and people just like them build very quickly. Outside of that, we do traditional paid ads. We do some very targeted ABM type efforts, and we do a good amount of outbound as well. So I'd say it's a combination to make sure that we're getting in front of the right companies, choose the different personas that would be making those decisions with the right message because it's so different from product to end developer.
Definitely. Okay. Awesome to hear that, Jessica. And next, so that way our listeners could go ahead and visit you. They could always check you out at getstream.io. What role does the website then play for client acquisition, Jessica?
So we have a few different paths to interacting with the team. You can go ahead and set up a free account and start coding immediately. You can chat with one of our wonderful SDRs who will be on the chat bot and be able to answer any questions you have, or obviously you can submit some information or submit a request for information and have somebody reach back out to you. But there's a lot of different ways where you can figure out, okay, do I just want to get in to the platform and start building, or do I have some specific questions that I'd like answered?
All right. And on that note then, Jessica, is there any tools or tips or methods that you would recommend to our listeners as far as the website lead generation?
So I really like the chatbot. I find it's a nice way to be able to interact with companies in real time and give them answers versus them waiting for the traditional, like I submitted information. And sometimes it speeds up time to what they're looking for and then just time to acquisition tremendously. So I think that's my favorite if I had to pick one. It's hard to pick one though.
Definitely. Okay, great. Thanks for sharing that. And well, let's jump into our next. Let's switch gears a little bit here, Jessica, and let's talk about you as a leader. You being the vice president of growth there for Stream. What are some key tasks you like to focus on in day-to-day work?
So I lead the field marketing piece of the organization. I lead the SDR team and the mid-market AEs. So it's kind of a flip-flop of different focuses. So it's figuring out what are the key rocks and priorities that the teams are focused on? How can I best support them? Giving them the tools, the resources, anything that they need to be successful, and then making sure that everything is tracking against the metrics that we have in place. So I'd say it depends. Right now, we're in the end of the quarter, so we are hyper-focused on getting deals over the finish line. But we're also on the same side, figuring out everything from a field and events perspective for Q2. So I think it's every day is a little different. It's a combination of what day it is and where you are in the quarter.
Definitely. I mean, it sounds like you like to wear a couple of different hats there. So kudos to you for being able to manage that. It's awesome. And I mean, with all the overwhelming marketing information out there, Jessica, where do you usually like to stay up to date? Is there a channel that you like to go through to learn the new strategies that are out there?
So I really like Marketing Brew, and there's like Marketing Brew, Retail Brew, Tech Brew. They have like one for almost every vertical. They give a snippet that I can get through in 2 minutes every morning and just kind of scroll through anything that's important. I think from the go-to-market sales side of it, there's a few different places. I always feel like Morgan Ingram has some good content in what's relevant for SDRs, and there's other different places. But I think from a day-to-day perspective, like Morning Brew, Tech Brew, Marketing Brew, all the different brews, I read pretty much every day.
Okay, awesome. Great news there for our listeners. Check that out as well. And well, let's jump into our next section here, Jessica, which is our rapid fire question round. Are you ready for them?
I hope so. I'll do the best I can.
All right, perfect. Awesome. So let's first off, Jessica, what is the last book that you read?
So the last book I read was a Jen Lancaster. She's an author from Chicago. I can't remember which one it was. It was her most recent one, but she's great.
All right, perfect. Awesome. Next up is if there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be that one thing that you want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
Oh, I'd say real-time attribution and real-time reporting with ease.
Oh, definitely. Okay, great to hear that. Next up is what is one single thing that Stream is focused on at the moment the most?
I'd say it's our new amazing video product. That is what we are all super excited for, and we are really focused on it.
Definitely. All right. Looking forward to that, and I'm sure your clients are as well. Next up is if there was one repetitive task that you could automate, what would that be?
Oh, that's so easy. Expenses.
Yes. All right. Okay. Interesting. All right. And lastly, I mean, Jessica, you have a long trajectory already in the marketing world, but what is that one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today?
I would say just keep trying something new every day because there's always something you can learn. And when something works, just stick with it because there's always a new tool, a new technique, a new something to try in marketing. So stick with what works, and sometimes repetition makes for a great success.
Definitely. Great to hear that, Jessica. Thank you so much for that advice for our listeners as well. And we are coming to the end of the show. I do want to thank you for being on. But before we end, I do want to give you the last word. Now, if someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is that one thing they should remember about streaming?
I'd say the thing to remember about Stream is that we are an exciting platform helping developers get real-time communications into their apps quickly, and we are probably in apps that you're using every day. So you may not know it, but we're there.
Right? Definitely. I mean, like I mentioned, you guys with Hopping, Count, Gumtree, Crunchbase everywhere. So definitely we're using you at one point. So awesome to hear that from you, Jessica. And well, Jessica, I do want to thank you so much for being on with us today, as well as to our listeners for tuning in. And well, I'm looking forward to our next episode at PathMonk Presents. Thanks a lot, Jessica.
All right. Thank you.